Hey everybody, welcome to The Good Edit, where we evaluate and dissect the lives of Bravo's most iconic, most controversial women, one season at a time. My name is Elle Schwartz.
And I'm Chris Persky, and we are joining forces, the two of us right now,
Right
to take a
now,
look at some of the most iconic women in the Bravo universe. And I want to thank you for bringing me into this because I think we're going to have the most amazing time looking at some of the most controversial and some of the most delicious women in reality TV.
delicious. Oh my God, I love that. And it really is a passion project. For both of us, I think, who have
Hmm.
gotten to pouring into people and trying to understand why they are the way they are. And it just makes sense that we do this, uh, you know, against the backdrop of a medium that we love called reality TV. It's really not about focusing, when people ask me, well, how does your podcast differ from that of other podcasts that are out there that are fabulous in their own right, that are really kind of dissecting the drama one episode at a time. We want to know the woman behind the drama, right? And so our aim and our complete passion that's really driving this is really looking at this woman, deconstructing their life story, and let's discover how fame, how wealth, how the reality TV, how the camera, and how they edit really kind of
Hmm.
collide, and how that has contributed to her evolution as a housewife.
And to be able to look at people, whether they're on television or even in real life, and really be able to look at things through the good edit. Did you love how I plugged that? So
I
I
like how
really
you did
think it's
that.
the right. I think it's the most important thing we can do as human beings because so much of what we see on television and even when we see people in real life, I think a lot of it is through a lens that isn't necessarily accurate. And I think if we can really look at people and see beyond their face value and really go deeper into why did that person say that? What are they going through? What's happening in their life? What's been taken away? What's been added? And when you and I have the ability to talk about these characters, and we've done this for several months, not even just characters on TV shows, but also ones that we've met in real life, people in our own lives. When we give people the good edit, I feel better about myself. I don't know about you. I really do. I
Yes.
think I
Yeah.
understand people a lot better when I'm looking at it from the lens of what's the, are you the best version of yourself with what you have with where you are right now in this moment. And if I'm able to look at someone and be able to do that for them, I think not only am I a better friend, but I think I'm a better human.
Absolutely. The thing is about reality TV when it first entered in our lives. I don't know what your first relationship
Oh,
was with reality TV, but my first relationship was uh the real world,
oh,
right?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then when I had a friend of mine who was actually a line producer on the show at the time was telling me
Hmm.
about all of the technical production nuances that go on to drive that show, to bring that show to us. I was just completely fascinated. I'd never been able to look at any reality TV show in a way without considering like what is the production angle going on there, and who
Hmm.
are these people before they showed up here, right? And Housewives in itself is really kind of this masterclass in human behavior that's really kind of pushed the reality TV, cinema verite, if you call it, if you'd like to call it, to
Can
its
you say that word again? It sounds
I'm
like a
gonna try
delicious drink.
cinema
Cheers.
cinema verite. Now you got me the
Can
CV
you
of it
spell it?
all, the CV of it all, cinema verite to new heights. And as far as I know, I think that was the first. I thought that was the first reality TV show that came out in 1973 that featured the Loud family from Santa Barbara and
Okay.
was on them 24 hours a day everywhere they went, capturing these truly iconic humanistic moments. But I think you put me onto something that was kind of interesting, that the
Yeah.
reality TV, yes, you did, that the first reality TV show was,
Pageants, believe it or not, pageants. And for the past couple of years, I've hosted Miss Teen USA. I've done a couple of state pageants where I've hosted and I've judged as well. And I will tell you, growing up watching them with my older sister, I would watch someone's life change and I would almost get to know these women. They might have been on in a 2 hour broadcast. The ones that kept advancing would be on television for maybe a total of 6 minutes. So within 6 minutes, I got to know their stories. I got to see what they look like in a swimsuit, evening gown. I got to figure out and see how they portrayed themselves. And when you do that in such a small snippet, some
Mhm.
people were catapulted into stardom, others you watched their dreams shatter, others you kind of got to see their personalities. And for some others, you kind of saw them absolutely freeze. Like there were times where I thought, oh my gosh, this girl's the winner. And then she completely freezes in front of a camera. And with pageants right now, they're in the day and age where a lot of people are talking about their relevancy. And a lot of people might even do that with, you know, uh, reality television and go, well,
Right.
what's really the point? Well, whether it's pageants or it's reality TV, I think for all of us, it's the ability to take a breather from the craziness and the chaos that we have in our own lives. And to be, for those that are going into pageants, not everybody can do that. You
No,
go and try to follow that regimen and go and put yourself out there. I mean, I don't know about you, but speaking in front of people, I've always loved it, but it's a
no.
really difficult thing for
Really?
people to do.
I can't tell. I know you love it. That's why you're perfect for this. But you make a really good point. Um, that for those women to put their beauty out there on the line for people to make commentary or judgment is a huge effort
Hmm.
and confidence and courage. And I would like to say that think that the same is true for reality TV stars, for Bravo Housewives, right? Who are putting themselves out there vulnerably. And I'm thinking that maybe the difference is that while I'm sure that there was fan commentary about women that were in the pageant world, you'd have the pageant,
Hmm.
fans comment on that commentary was just kind of limited to who you knew or in that circle who watched the show,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But with Housewives, we are not only privy to their lives, but we're also privy to how fans think about the show and how they talk about the show and how they
Hmm.
perceive the characters. And it's kind of the Bravo Housewives world is not only just a master class in just terms of human behavior, but it's also a master class about the little think tank called fans and the
Hmm.
pandemic that it's kind of produced. And this pandemic that I like to call it has infectiously kind of unified women across all parts of the globe, no matter where you are or who you talk to. There's a woman or male or a fan that knows about housewives and they're ready to talk about it
Hmm.
and they're ready to dive about it. And everybody considers themselves the armchair Bravo celebrity expert. And it's kind of, through social media, uh, Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, the posts that happen, fans are able to just immediately put out all their vitriol or all of their opinions, most of the times it's vitriol, about said character. It's fascinating. It's just a fascinating
It's
medium.
fascinating, but I hope when people are doing it, they're doing it with the lens of a good edit, which I don't think many are. And that has to be a very difficult thing, whether you sign up to be on the show or not to you really have to make the conscious choice. Am I going to turn off the noise or what am I going to allow in? What comments am I going to allow in? And which ones am I going to keep away? And as human beings, I don't know about you, but sometimes when the noise is so loud, it's you almost can't hear anything else. You almost don't believe anything else. You almost feel the noise instead of putting on the headphones and going, what's real and what isn't because
Yeah,
everybody's entitled to their opinion 100%. When we watch these shows, part of the reason why these characters are doing as well as they are is because they have the fans. Without the fans, it's the same in the pageant world. It's the same with anything. If there aren't fans, if there isn't an audience, you don't
mhm.
have a product. So we have to really take a look at and go, is all of the noise for some characters, maybe they're like, you know what, I kind of like having a lot of people hate me. You know what? It's a reprieve from maybe who I am in my real life. And it's nice to, to have, to be the bad girl, almost like the bad girl in a soap opera, right?
Almost the bad girl in a soap opera. Yeah, so the
Hmm.
good edit, this is what we're trying to do. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're trying to meet two people where they're at. We're trying to meet fans where they're at and take into
Yep.
consideration their perspective and kind of, you know, diving into those opinions and diving
Right.
into the perspective to see if there's any truth to it. But it's also meeting that housewife where she's at and attempting to humanize her experience. I like how you talked about the milestones, looking at this retrospective approach and moving beyond the surface level gossip that we often
Hmm.
are introduced to whenever a show has aired, on social media, but
Right.
so moving past that surface level gossip and just using a psychological kind of approach to understand who they are as human beings, right? And um, and maybe offering the fans a little bit more insight that they've never considered before, so they can add to their resume of being that armchair expert on all things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
So
because I think it's important that I don't think we're here to change anybody's mind about a particular
no,
person or a character. I think it's more of, you know what? You have your opinion. Now let us share ours. Let us share what we think. And for a lot of times, I think you can probably merge the two. And I think that's a beautiful thing to really look at people, look at characters. Because I keep going back between people and characters, because when I think about the people on reality television or reality TV, I go, well, you are a person. I'm looking at you as a person first instead of a character first. And I think some of the opinions that maybe people have, I think they're doing the exact opposite.
right. I think you're right. So this show, who's the show for? It's for a couple of people. If you are a diehard Housewives fan, you like a fresh take, you like to get analytical with it, um, this show is for you. If you're a pop culture enthusiast and really just enjoy the discourse of reality TV, understanding the technical side of it, definitely this show's for you. Those of you who like psychology, sociology, and just like to analyze things, you're in the right space. And
But
we are
it's not about drama. It's not
it's not
about
about drama.
drama. The drama is
Not
already
about
on the
drama.
television show and on those social media outlets.
So now we're to the pivotal part because we've been working on this thing since April. I feel like we need a drum roll.
Oh,
We have
darn
our
it.
first season launching. We have our first season launching.
Yes.
It's launching December 3rd, and we are courageously dissecting uh, a
Do you want me to
character
give the initials?
that we are courageously choosing to dissect a woman of much courage who is not particularly liked. But we are it's because of that reason why we're motivated to tell that story. A very courageous story, whether you agree with it or not. And that person is,
Oh, I wish we got to bring in the drum roll.
I wish we had a
Um,
drum.
her initials are EJ.
We are diving into Erica Jane. Our first season will be devoted completely to her, otherwise known as the most curious and complex case, the curious case of Erica Jane. I'd like to call it that, but I think somebody had already wrote an article about that.
Yes.
And I was like, oh man, that was our, that was gonna be,
Well, you know what? I will tell you, Jen Shaw, I mean, she's not too far behind. I mean, especially what's been going on with her and what's going to happen with her in December. But back to Erica Jane,
yeah.
I will tell you, absolutely. And, when you first talked to me about Erica Jane months ago, I remember watching, I binge watched. I will tell you right now, like most of us do. I mean, I found any reason, if it was only 70 degrees, to lower the shades in my house, to get some popcorn, to get some champagnes, my
I,
martini slippers. And more than anything, no, I have them. I'll wear them on a future episode. But I took a look at it, and at the very beginning, I was like, you know what, Elle? I don't know if I see it. And then I kept watching. And then I kept watching. And I just felt the wheels turning. And I went, you're onto something. You really are onto something. And now I'm on season 14. And
oh
I will
wow,
let you know.
what are we on to? Because honestly, she is the
Yeah.
most hated housewife next to Jen Shah
Yeah.
uh, that has ever graced the television screen. And how it feels she says it's expensive to be her. That might be true in the monetary sense, but in the emotional sense, the amount of
Oh,
currency, social currency that she has to take, an emotional currency that she has to take to withstand all of the
mhm.
unapologetic hate that it's unreal. And I'm
Well, see, I don't know if hate's the exact word because hate is
vitriol.
one thing. Some of the things that you have shared with me, some of the things that I have read, I would not even want to call my worst enemy. It
Yeah,
is,
sad.
it's scary, you know? So when people are able to hide behind a keyboard or a fake Instagram account or a fake name, it's not such a good thing. So the ability for Erica Jane to put herself out there, and I'll tell you from season four when she first started, was it season four or season six? Was it four?
Season six,
Six,
episode
six.
four.
Yes. I'm thinking because I'm on 14 right now. So season six, the switch from season six to season seven to all the way to where she is in 14 and how she handled the trials and tribulations before her divorce to where she currently is in season 14. I've seen maturity, I've seen growth, I've seen accountability, and I've seen the unwavering commitment to, am I guilty until proven innocent or innocent until proven guilty? And I really think we're in a world right now where when we get accused of something, we are here trying to fight for our innocence instead of really saying to somebody, don't just assume I'm guilty.
So I just want to apologize. What you saw there was not the best edit.
But it's our good edit because we can laugh about it, okay? Come on.
In addition to death and taxes, two things we know are true. Your internet will go down at the most pivotal part. Pivotal part.
And
So
yes,
thank
and
you
I
for
thought I was
embracing our
saying
human
something.
frailty. But you were saying something so important about
I
guilt,
know.
presumed
And I
innocence.
just, yes, I just think, are we living in a world where we're innocent until proven guilty or guilty until proven innocent? And you know what? I'm guilty of this. I will tell you this right now. There are certain people in my life where I'm like, oh, I might not like you. So I'm just, the minute someone says something negative about them, I believe it's true. So I'm guilty of it as well. So to stop doing that, to really take a pause, take a deep breath, maybe grab a glass of champagne or two, and really calm myself down and realize, okay, do I have all the facts? What do I know? And we have to remember on these reality TV shows, they're showing snippets, they're showing things from out of order. It's some things were taken out of context. And some of these women, I mean, probably all of them, there's a storyline, right? And there it might be better for them to have a particular storyline
Yeah.
or for to have a situation stretched out. But the way that Erica Jane has handled it, and she's been unequivocally, unapologetically herself and said, I this is not a court of law. This is my life. Let that part be dealt with on its own. I'm telling you that these things are not true. I'm telling you that these things did not happen. Believe me, listen to me.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you put yourself out there for the whole world to see for it to not be true? What
Yeah.
are you going to gain from that? That's really what I would do, especially on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with
This
the
part.
allies that you're getting, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And we're about to get into all of it.
I want to go there. I mean, I just want to say
You know,
this one thing. I mean, as a
please.
woman, I mean, do you notice, a lot of my friends are women, and I will tell you, my best friend's my sister. One of my other best friends is a former Miss USA. And, you know, when I think about women showing up for other women, is it just women that you can identify with? Or is it women overall in general that you kind of have the same attitude towards? Because like on these Real Housewives, like we have these women that have a certain stature, right? With Beverly Hills, we have the certain the networking with the girls from Salt Lake City and all these other franchises. But when you are there to support a woman, are you supporting a woman at her high and her low
Hmm.
the same way? And I don't know if that's something that you practice in your own life. I hope so, but I know we all have our
Oh,
moments.
I'll just say it like this. The definition of a true friend and is just to be able to be there for your friends no matter what. And if they're having their highest, honestly, I used to honestly say, I know you're my friend if you're with me through my heights of heights and my lowest of lows, and the time in
Hmm.
between. There's consistency there. Um, I think I would like to think that we live in a world where all women want to see women win, but we know that in reality that that's not always true.
It's
There's this
true.
thing called confirmation bias, and we're going to talk about that, where I need to really believe what I believe about you, whether positive or negative. I really need that to be true, right? And when
Hmm.
you're at your lowest, oh, I really need you to, yeah, my bias has been confirmed. I knew that you weren't, you know,
Hmm.
at work, and I'm
And
not even,
authenticity,
yeah.
being, authentic, being genuine, being true, it's not always easy when you're going through some very private, personal things. And Erica Jane, what she really did, there were some things she had to keep private for legal purposes. I mean, absolutely. I mean, her ex-husband was one of the most feared attorneys in the entire country. So, of course, there's going to be things that
Possibly
she's going to have to keep
identical,
her. Right. I mean, so
but
there are things that she can't say, but what I love that she did was she still showed up, even as she was losing things
yeah.
and even as she was defending
And I don't
herself.
know if many women would be able to do that. But we
Yeah.
don't want to talk too much. We're getting excited.
Yes.
We don't give
Yeah.
too much away.
That's just the way we are. I mean, we could go for hours.
I
So,
know we can talk for hours. So here's how this is worked. So here's how this works. Launching December 3rd, our
woo.
first our first icon that we're covering is Erica Jane. We're going to get into her story of who she was before Housewives ever entered into the chat, and how she kind
Yes.
of grew up just as a strong, she just grew up as a fighter, and talk about her journey through trying to make it as a performer in New York and all of those things. Her introduction to Tom, some nuances as to what that marriage was like, and some authentic expressions of love that are actually detailed in her book. And then we'll get into some of those major storylines that have happened that have kind of shaped her character arc. We'll get into the fandemonium of it all and the fan perception, and then we'll let you guys decide, um, what where we go from here. What is your final thoughts about her? We're not here, like Chris says, this is a courageous effort, and
Hmm.
we don't care about public opinion.
No,
We care
believe me, if
about it.
I did, I wouldn't have left the house years ago, my love. Like, I would
We,
have, yes, no,
we care about an
no, no,
authentic
no.
conversation and a deep dive, and we want to bring you about along with us in this deep journey. So please
Yeah.
let's get into where you can find us. You can definitely find us
Yes.
on Instagram.
That's my favorite. So TGE underscore, and no, don't spell out underscore, TGE underscore the good edit. And
And you can also find us anywhere you consume your podcasts, at Apple, iHeart, as well as Spotify, as well as YouTube at the Good Edit dash 25. See you on
and look for my
December
GoFundMe page as well. Just
3rd.
kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay, we'll see you on December 3rd. And remember, always live your life in the best edit possible. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.